What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode here, the DA Integra build series. If you guys had tuned in and watched the race episode from last weekend, you saw I had some issues with the transmission on this thing. So what Donnie and I decided to do today, this morning, got up early, we pulled the transmission on this thing. So obviously we don't see anything visually wrong with it from the exterior of it, so we're going to have to break it open and see what's going on. More than likely there's probably something going on with the second gear synchro and maybe the slide, the 1-2 slide on it. Hopefully it's not a gear issue, because gears for this thing can be pretty astronomical and hard to get. So hopefully it's just a synchro problem, nothing more than that. I think there might also be some bearing issues going on too, because I did notice it started to get pretty loud, and it was kind of on when it was under load. So if I'd let off the throttle, the noise would kind of go away, but as soon as I would get back on it, I would notice some bearing noise and some humming. So what we're going to do now, get on the bench, drain the rest of the fluid out of it, because I'm sure there's still some in here after we drained it in the car, and crack it open and see what we got. So stay tuned. We were able to tell that I had ran that. So I'm going to kind of show you guys. All right, so we got the case halves here split, and you can see here definitely something was grinding in between the was it the differential gear?
Yeah, the final drive.
The final drive, which is this. So there's something that was wedged in here, rubbing on the case. I got a bunch of metal pieces in here, ton of stuff on the magnet right here as well. And we noticed, you can see here, these sharp points aren't supposed to be on. That's the reverse gear slide. Yeah, second gear does not look too good either. So for sure gonna need a reverse slide and a second gear. And we're gonna delve into a little bit further and
oh boy.
Yeah, we're gonna dive in a little further and see what else we can find here. This bearing is also a little noisy as well too. These ones seem pretty good as far as noise wise, but this one you can't hear it, but she's a little noisy. So we're gonna dive into her a little deeper and see what we can come up with here.
What's up, everybody? So as you can see, we got the trans completely tore apart and disassembled. Basically what we're looking at here is we're going to try to do a reverse second gear slide and a second gear install. We kind of got to see what we got for parts available, so that's what we're going to do here, and then pretty much maybe a couple new bearings and then reassemble. So
yeah, I think what else we might possibly do at the same time. So the rebuild kit that I was looking at comes with synchros, bearings, some seals, that's like axle seals, that sort of thing. I might possibly get a carbon synchro from Synchrotech for second gear, just because that's pretty much the only gear that I'm really slamming. Otherwise the brass synchros on all the other stuff should be pretty much fine. But yeah, we're gonna see what we got available for parts here. Hopefully everything's available. I was worried that maybe like the shift forks might have been messed up, but we still really haven't figured out totally where all these metal pieces came from. The aluminum ones, the aluminum shavings that were in there, was definitely from the case, but there was also some like steel pieces in there, and they were thin pieces, like almost like a piece of stamped steel or something along that line. So not 100% sure where that came from. We don't see it right now. We may possibly run into it once we pull the gears off the shafts, but I doubt we're gonna find it there. It's tough to say where it actually came from, but the verdict at the moment is a piece of the case broke off and caused a lot of the damage internally. So see what we got available for parts, get whatever we need ordered, and get her back together, and hopefully be ready for the next race June 13th at MIS, Madison International Speedway. So time has mysteriously gone by. It's been about 3 or 4 days. What I actually ended up planning, or what I ended up doing, because we were originally going to just replace a few of the gears. The cost of the gears is honestly, for new gears, ridiculous. Not worth it for what it is. If this was a short geared setup, I would say yeah, totally worth buying replacement gears for it. But being that this is tall gears, the gearing is pretty horrible for autocross. What I actually ended up doing was I hopped on eBay and found a guy out of Canada that has a set of JDM Cirex Civic S1 short gears from a B16. So pretty much getting a whole gear set, all both counter shaft and input shaft, all the gears on it. Also throwing in the shift forks as well. So should be pretty much a drop-in setup. The only thing we might still do, haven't decided yet. I guess once I get it, I'll look at it, but may possibly put a carbon synchro in second gear. But if everything looks pretty kosher with it and it looks legit, might just hold off and then at some point maybe do that down the road when I do an LSD. But yeah, I think doing this, I won't have to put a final drive in it, a different final drive. I'll have short gears. Yeah, it must be a pretty low mileage setup, because the pictures that were on there, it looked really, really good. So gonna put that in, throw some new bearings in and new seals, and then get it all buttoned up. But yeah, I'm gonna do a separate video on all that, but just figured I'd give you guys an update of what we actually ended up doing. So yeah, I think the next video I'll probably be putting out will more than likely be us getting the internals in and getting it back in the car, and hopefully that'll be all she wrote. So alrighty guys, please subscribe and stay tuned for more. Thanks.